Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, can you believe it, Marbles? That's crazy. What's wrong with all these people? Must be out of their minds. Hey, what's up, Arch? This was kind of an impromptu live stream. Um, this is something I had planned on going live with yesterday, but not unlike a lot of my live streams, you never get to see them. I'll put content together and then for whatever reason I just get, I don't know, bashful, I guess. Um, but I'm going to stop doing that. I'd rather go live with it and make it a quick, hour live stream than not share it with you guys. Maybe it'll be more meaningful for somebody out there. This is a topic we have covered in the past, the junior detective theory. And as soon as we get everybody in here, we'll dive in. Slay the Rings, what's up? Hey, Chopper. Arch, this is going to be more of a participation live stream. So I'm going to need, I'm going to be reaching out for opinions. But I have a whole list of examples I want to go over before we jump in to any of the conversation. I pulled, let's see here. Here's one article. Alabama teens set out to catch a child predator, and they end up trapping the predator and they get charged, but they end up busting like 14 different online predators. So there's one story. Teen girls set trap for alleged predator, but ends up being kidnapped. That one's interesting. Here's another one. Olney, which is a place. Teens trap alleged sex offender on Snapchat. Here's another one. Police charge 4 in Grinder teen luring trap. I think they end up getting charged for kidnapping. And then here's another one. Teens trap offender on Snapchat. And I actually found this guy's Facebook. Oh, and here's a video I pulled. Florida teen creates fake online persona to catch child predator. Welcome, MDR. Teresa, how you doing? Big Fish. Eminem. Hey, D. TTM. Hey, what's up, Derek? Maserati in the house. Railroad Joe. Hey, Phil. Tattoo. Carol. Good to see you. Hand rubbing intensifies. Yes, get to the hand rubbing. We need some ideas here. I might be onto something. This account, good to see you. All right, I think that's everybody. So I think the way I'm going to do this is we'll go over all these examples, and then I'll kind of explain where I'm coming from and where this theory kind of where it was sparked. So I think we can start with here. Let's start with this guy. So this guy's name is Trevor Carr Forbes, and he was 24 at the time. And this was released. Looks recent. Yesterday, and that's when I actually found it. Titled Olney Teens Trapped Alleged Sex Offender on Snapchat. It's written by Gina Keating. Two Olney teens set a trap on social media for a Wichita Falls man who allegedly tried to pick up their 16-year-old friend repeatedly at Bomber's Burgers, handing police the evidence that led to his arrest, according to a May 8th affidavit. Police arrested Trevor Carr Forbes, 24, in Wichita Falls on May 9th on a charge of online solicitation of a minor. He was released on May 10th on $75,000 bond, police and jail records said. A 16-year-old female employee at Bombers told police that Mr. Forbes was a regular at Bombers and has always been overly friendly to her, an affidavit by Olney Police Sergeant Dustin Hudson said. On April 29th, Mr. Forbes came through the drive-thru window, handed a girl a paper with his Snapchat username on it after she handed him his order, the affidavit said. She thought it was creepy. She threw it in the trash. Then she retrieved it from the trash and gave it to her coworkers. The names of the three teenagers are being withheld to protect against possible retaliation, Olney Police Chief Dan Burbeck said. The two boys created a Snapchat account posing as their female coworker and drew Forbes into an online conversation that quickly turned sexual, the affidavit said. In the conversation, Forbes texts that he is 29 years old, and the boys respond that she is 16, but will be 17 in a couple of months, the affidavit said. Mr. Forbes asked the girl to send him nude photos and send a photo of his genitalia, the affidavit states. He also made arrangements to take the girl to Olney Lake or Johnson Road. The two teens turned over screenshots of the conversations to Olney police, who executed an arrest warrant with the help of Wichita Falls police as Mr. Forbes left work at Shepherd Air Force Base. I think this is from his Facebook. And the mugshot. What is it? Olney. What was it saying? Olney? Olney. Thank you. Yeah, isn't that gross? So there's an example of junior detectives. I don't know what that is. They got his ass. I don't recommend doing that, youngsters. But I mean, if you're gonna do it, get them. But just be very careful. You never know. Could be meeting a psychopath. Let's see here. Here, let's check this one out. This is one that goes south pretty quick. Dirty knots. Yes, kids, don't try this at home. One for the good guys for sure. Well, this next case, it's hard to tell who the good guys are. You know, there's always a line. You know, yeah, you want to set up the predator, but you don't want to set him up and torture him. You know what I mean? There's a line you cross. So this one I think is more about vigilante justice. This is from March of 2022. NJ.com, True Jersey by Jeff Goldman. Police charge 4 in Grinder teen luring trap, including duo who set trap. What's up, Gail? Good to see you. Melissa. 256 Shades of Grey. Hey, Jill. Good to see you. Kelly, how are you? Good to see everybody. Oh, we got Mandy Ray in the house. Yo, no notification, but I literally just decided to go live. Like I typed it in the Discord, like, hey, I kind of want to go live, but I really don't want to. And then they talked me into it. Good to see you. All right. So this is out of New Jersey. Two New Jersey residents who posed as a 15-year-old boy on a grinder app to lure would-be predators provided enough information to police to charge two of the men they confronted in face-to-face meetings, authorities said Monday. But the duo's vigilante tactics during those meetups also led police to charge them with terroristic threats and criminal restraint, authorities said. Edison police used the information provided by the duo, a 34-year-old Edison man and a 26-year-old Springfield man, to arrest and charge two of the would-be predators, Deputy Chief Robert Dudash said Monday. A third man is being sought by police. The two men told police they posed as a 15-year-old boy on the Grindr app and made arrangements to separately meet men at different locations in Edison. When the would-be predators arrived to two of the meetings, they ordered the men into the back seat of a car and for an hour of interrogation that included threats of castration, police said. They also said they would expose the men's activities on their YouTube channel, police said. A third man fled when confronted at the meeting spot, police said. Anthony Kodos, 29, of Edison, and Jordan Grundy, 21, of North Plainfield, were arrested and charged with enticing a child and endangering the welfare of a minor. Both are being held at the Middlesex County Jail in North Brunswick ahead of detention hearings. Kodos fled from the two men before getting in the car to be questioned. Dudash said a 34-year-old man who posed as a teen filed a report with Edison cops at about 1:50 a.m. that led to the charges. The man was more than willing to explain everything he and the 26-year-old man did in their attempt to catch would-be predators, according to Dudash. The detailed information also led police to charge the duo with the third-degree criminal restraint and terroristic threats. See, that's a bit much. Yeah, you don't want to get yourself in trouble. Hey, what's up, Digital? Good to see you. Yeah. Hello. Anna. Good to see everybody. Kelly. Oh, is that where you're from? The Jers? Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, if you guys could hit the like button. Yeah, that's definitely kidnapping. Would they call it? They had a different word for it. Criminal restraint, terroristic threats, and criminal restraint. What's up, Peter? Soliata, what's up? Miss Thang. Bet you're going to bring this full circle and apply it to Delphi. Yep, plan to. Hey, Patricia. I mean, it is kind of like kidnapping, right? You like kidnapped them. If you force them into the car, okay, let's say they walked up to let's say a kid, forced her into the car, forced him into the car, like instantly that's kidnapping. Let's say you walk up to a woman and say, get in the back of this car. I mean, unless they asked them, like, hey, will you please sit down for a minute and talk with us? That's different. Cops do that shit. We're going to need you to come with us, sir, or something like that, where they're not really giving you a lawful order. They're just making it seem like they're giving you a command. Criminal restraint. Okay, let's see which one's next. Oh, yeah, this one's crazy. This one's from Inside Edition, October 8th, 2019. Teen girl set trap for alleged predator, but one ends up being kidnapped. The teens were trying to target a man who wanted to have sex with underage girls. A group of California teens plotted to get information on a man who allegedly wanted underage sex, but one of them ended up getting kidnapped instead, authorities said. The three girls attempted a sting operation after using a social media app to contact an adult seeking sexual relations with a minor, according to the San Diego County Sheriff's Office. After exchanging texts, the girls arranged a meeting in a Starbucks parking lot. During the meeting, the man identified as 32-year-old Robert Dreyfus was able to convince a 17-year-old girl to sit in his car to talk, authorities said, and then sped away with the girl who was able to text her friends for help, according to authorities. Jeez. The other two teens then called 911 and deputies were able to reach Dreyfus on his cell phone, the department said in a statement. He pulled over and the girl got out of the car. Authorities said she was not hurt. Dreyfus was arrested and charged with kidnapping, sending harmful matter to a minor, and communication with the minor for specific offenses, according to the department. And this is quoting the sheriff's department strongly discourages the public from setting up meetings or contacting anyone for the purposes of catching an individual who is committing a crime, the statement said. These types of situations can be extremely dangerous and should be handled by your local law enforcement agency. The girl said they were trying to gather evidence. Okay, this is the most important part. This is going to have everything to do with our conversation here. The girl said they were trying to gather evidence to submit to authorities. Dreyfus was released on a $175,000 bail and is scheduled to appear in court next week. Okay, I have a couple other articles, but I think I'm going to play this video and then we'll just jump right into it. I don't plan to spend more than an hour. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this theory. See if you guys can poke some holes in it.
To 10 years in prison, found guilty of trying to entice a teenage girl online for sex. But that girl was actually a 16-year-old boy posing as a potential victim while on the hunt for a child predator.
Jay Jarvis is live outside the federal courthouse in Fort Pierce with a breakdown of the case. Jade?
Well, a child advocate I spoke to today says it's all about empowering kids to make safe and smart decisions. And while the 16-year-old in this case didn't always make the right decision, his heart was definitely in the right place. 38-year-old Zachary Spiegel will spend the next 120 months or 10 years in a federal prison.
Got him.
A judge in Fort Pierce handed down the sentence Monday following Spiegel's conviction for attempted online enticement of a minor. Authorities say back in January, Spiegel started talking to who he believed was a 14-year-old girl named Shayla online.
Nope.
But in reality, Shayla was a fictional persona created by a 16-year-old boy who was trying to find child predators in the area.
You have a 16-year-old boy wanting to take, the matter into his own hands and find these child predators in his area, and he found one.
Court documents
What's
show
up, Darren?
Spiegel's messages with Shayla trying to persuade her to meet him for sex in his car,
Hey, Radar.
as well as graphic text
Jessica.
descriptions of sexual acts he wanted to do to her and inappropriate photos. Authorities say they never met up, but the boy went to police, who then took over as Shayla. Then on January 20th, authorities
how you do
arrested
it.
Spiegel at his Jensen Beach home. Callahan Walsh, a child advocate with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, says the center received over 29 million reports of suspected child exploitation in 2021, including instances of online enticement like this case. That's a 35% increase from the year before. His top tips for parents are: 1, try to understand the latest technology and social media apps; 2, set ground rules, especially if there's been bad behavior in the past; and 3, just talk to each other.
Is to have ongoing conversations with your children about safety. The conversations you have with your youngest child when they're first getting online are vastly different conversations than you're having with your older teens about being safe. So look for those teachable moments. Make sure these are part of your everyday conversation.
And while Walsh says he tips his hat off to that 16-year-old for wanting to catch this predator, he cautions other people to not do the same thing because they could be dangerous. So report it if you see it happen, but ultimately leave the hunting up to law enforcement.
She said the hunting. Leave the hunting up to law enforcement. Okay, so this is where we're going with all this. I went back and I watched an interview with Mike and Becky Patty. They were talking with Gray Hughes. He has the interview up on his channel. It's up. But some of the things that she said kind of reminded me of this theory we once touched upon. Let's see. She said Libby was a math whiz, helped Kelsey with her homework. So usually if you're good at math, you can put 2 and 2 together, right? She also stated Libby wanted to go into forensics, and Abby was wanted to pursue a career in law enforcement, and both were already enrolled in classes at Purdue. So I don't know what kind of classes these were. She also said that what did she say that I didn't write down? Oh, that Libby despised bullies and would often kind of come to the rescue of people who were being bullied. So it got me thinking. Anthony Schott's account was communicating with Libby's friend. The first time that Libby ever was provided access to Anthony Schott's was through this friend. Now, what if she kind of put 2 and 2 together and said, hey, you're getting catfished here, right? And the friend was like, really? You think so? Yeah. Let me go ahead and maybe set a trap for this guy. So I wanted to get your guys' thought on that. If they're interested, they're already pursuing a career in law enforcement. They're sitting there in class and they're thinking, hey, we can really bust this guy, but we need some evidence. Kind of like those other girls, but they didn't realize they were over their head. They didn't realize, when you're dealing with a cunning, sophisticated predator, she was in the seat of the guy's car before she even knew what happened, and he's already gone. Let's say he didn't answer his phone. Let's say he decides to throw his phone out of the car and keep driving out into the woods. I mean, you never know. So I don't know. Maybe they decided amongst themselves, like, hey, All we need to do is gather some information. We need to get this guy's face on camera. And didn't they ask Max, their friend Max, for help about some boy or somebody that was bothering them, some 19-year-old, something along those lines? I mean, it's kind of a wild theory, but Kagan, he said, "Hey, I blocked Libby. She was being annoying. Like, what was she doing that was so annoying? What, you know? I mean, we obviously somebody unblocked her, or maybe he blocked her on Instagram or blocked her on some other platform, and not, let's say, Snapchat. I don't know. Block, unblock. It doesn't take much effort to do that. But we know that he said, hey, he blocked her for being annoying. What was so annoying? What were they doing? In the transcripts, they make it seem as if he asked them for nudes, and they sent him fake ones. He's like, "Oh, these aren't real nudes. What are you good for?" Maybe that's what was annoying, because they were trying to trap him, but maybe they didn't realize that this Keegan Klein character, who her friend knows personally. So her friend would have been like, "Oh, well, that's Keegan Klein. Yeah, he's harmless. Like, I know him. My family knows him." Oh, so maybe that's who they thought they were getting ready to bust. Oh, we're going to bust this guy. Some of the things that he said, we're not going to let fly. We're going to get more information on him. We're learning things in class. We know what we're doing. We're going to get some solid evidence on this guy, and we're going to turn it in. We're going to catch this guy. And another thing was, Libby didn't ask, according to Becky in the interview with Gray Hughes, the girls didn't ask, hey, can we go to the trails? Or, hey, can we go to the Freedom Bridge? They asked specifically to go to the Monon High Bridge. So just like Richard Allen was on a mission to get to the bridge, the girls were on a mission to get to the bridge. They were going to the same place. And what did Anthony Schott say? I was supposed to meet those girls there, but they never showed up. Well, we know somebody that was lingering around the bridge as if they were supposed to meet somebody there. And that person's name is Richard Allen. Yep. Does anybody know much about that class? We know they mention it multiple times. Family members and some of the media reports that they were attending class. This is a quote from Becky. Libby wanted to go into forensics, and Abby was going into law enforcement, and both already started classes. Who was teaching that class? Who was in that class? Hopefully it wasn't freaking somebody like a Koberger. All right, let's see what you guys have to say about this crazy theory here. Hey, Polygraph. Good to see you. Olivia, too. Lynn, hey. I don't think it's far out of the box at all. Does it fit, though? Marvel says, Sleuth also remembers Snowberger was asked by Libby to help her with the guy bothering her, but she told him, never mind, I got it. Yep. Yeah, she did. He did say that, huh? Like, she got it. I wonder if she set up a plan. And I don't know. Maybe there was like an altercation or something before they got up on that bridge. Like maybe Richard Allen said something weird, like, "Oh, you guys waiting for Anthony?" Or something, something really creepy. Hey, Diamonds, good to see you. Thank you. Just possible. It's like, oh, that's interesting. Just possible. I'm just trying to tie it all in together. Like, what is the motivation for this crime? Every theory leads back to the Anthony Shots account, unless there's something that we don't know, right? Unless there's a relationship that has nothing to do with the Anthony Shots profile, but it just doesn't make sense. It all fits in right there. Anthony Shots says, "Oh, I was supposed to, meet her, but she didn't show up." Now, why would Anthony Shots just say, "I was supposed to meet her, but I couldn't"? I couldn't break other plans, or I couldn't get out there. The Anthony Shots account responds as if he went out there and didn't see the girls, and that's kind of like what Richard Allen said, right? Like, "Oh, I went out there, but I didn't see those girls." I don't think they realize like the sophistication of who they were talking to, how many people they were communicating with, how many people were operating that Anthony Shots account. I think they were expecting, because of the friend and how they met Anthony Shots, and the friend knowing Keegan Klein and knowing him personally, may have told him like, "Hey, yeah, he's known for that. Like, he's harmless. He's not going to do anything." And then thinking they have a one up on him, like, "Hey, we know who you are," but they're not letting on to that. Not until they get their video, right? But right when they're trying to get their video, they're like, "Who the hell is this freaking guy? This weirdo running around in a blue coat? Like, that's not Keegan Klein." And that, who is this guy? Yeah, possible. Playing junior detective, and we're just in over their head, or didn't see this angle of it. Happy Tree, hello, says, "I think she figured it out, but didn't realize how many people were involved." Yep, very possible. Hey, Jules, that is kind of my theory since the beginning. She told him she believes he is a catfisher and that she will report him, and he asked for a chance and will prove to her he is not a catfisher by meeting. Possible. In the transcript, they say they make it seem as if Libby was fully like, it appeared that she had fallen for the act, that she was completely convinced and thought this was a real person. But she could have made it seem that way. Like if she's trying to catfish the catfisher, and all she needs is to get this guy on video or recording, whatever, saying like, "Yeah, I did it. Like, what are you going to do about it?" That's like some solid evidence. Like, you'll go to if she went to the police with that, boom, dude's arrested. Baby Doll says, "Do you think Cody set them up with one of?" No, I haven't seen one piece of information that points at Cody. And all the wild conspiracies running in my head, well, yeah, of course, but that's it. It's a story in my mind. It's not based on any factual information. Now, if you have something, I would take a look, but if it's not out there, you can't just make it up, you know? Regarding this case, I have a feeling the truth is stranger than fiction. That's been the case so far. I mean, what the hell is really going on? The investigators have a lot of explaining to do, and the only answer they ever give us is, "Oh, I hope one day we get to tell you." Now, what if that day never comes? Well, it's just human nature that we're just going to forget about it. We have a short attention span. Nice. Yeah, there's a couple good YouTube channels too that do that. Yeah, I'm not going to stay on much longer, maybe like another 10 minutes. I just wanted to get this out there and not just throw it away like I do with a lot of these kind of out there theories like this one. So I just wanted to throw it out there and see if maybe you have more information that might help or, um, poke some more holes in it. Let's get it out there. But after hearing Becky say that they're actually like seriously pursuing careers in law enforcement and that's what they want to do, and the fact they're already taking classes, I could see them and then her hating bullies meeting Anthony Shots while at a friend's house at a sleepover who is being catfished by somebody. So maybe she got protective. Like, here, let me see that, I know what to do with this guy. And Slathering says, as we don't really know who was in control of the account. And that's why Keegan Klein is so interesting right now. That's his same argument. He was supposed to go to a sentencing hearing, and now he's like, hey, they showed me evidence for the first time where it proves my father was using all of the same accounts that I was using, not to mention all these creepy comments about, here, let me send you over to Skype. And then when you look at the Skype account, it's under TK. I mean, that shit's really fishy. So if this whole time we're looking at a connection with Kagan and Richard Allen because that's where the facts point us, well, these are new facts that are pointing to somebody else. And maybe we should start paying a little bit more attention to that connection. Or just opening our ears for those of us who are interested in the case. All good information goes to law enforcement first. Let's just put that out there. It doesn't go to any YouTubers. Just like that 16-year-old boy who caught that guy. He got all the good information, never put himself in danger, and then turned it over to law enforcement. They took over the account and busted this guy. What's up, Rain Dancer? Digital says, but how does that fit with the phone reset? Not sure. Not sure if that fits in at all. Because if anybody's seen that conversation between Abby and Libby, there's a text conversation that's floating around. Some people have posted it. I'm not sure. But in the conversation, Abby is talking to Libby and saying, hey, well, I can't message our mutual friend on Messenger because I had to delete it. I have, back then phones didn't have all this memory and space. If you had 16 gigs of space, you were rocking and rolling. So she talked about how she had to delete Messenger and delete all these apps because she didn't have any room on her phone. So to me, the phone reset is just simply that, I agree. Yeah. It doesn't seem random. They were going to the bridge, and it appeared that Richard Allen was going to the bridge. Now, why were they both going to the same place? Why? Well, we know that this catfish account said I was supposed to meet them there, but they didn't show up. That's the part I can't get over. I mean, why didn't you just say, "Oh, well, she told me, she was going out there, but I couldn't make it out there." But this Anthony Shots account is basically saying, "Yeah, I went out there. I was there." That's what the account's saying. But she didn't show. How else do you know that they didn't show if you weren't there? I don't know. It's just some things you can't ignore. I get that I can't ignore. Brother of their teacher. Slay the Rings. Could be another reason she might have wanted the sister to come along at the last minute. Junior detective or worried meeting somebody. Either way figures in. Hi, Julia. A very interesting theory about them trying to trap him. All press conferences, they stress how Libby was a hero, obviously because she took the video of BG, but maybe there's more to that statement. Yeah. And that Abby never left her side. And that she's a hero for that reason. What were they doing? Why were they going to the bridge? I mean, they could have just been in over their head, totally thinking they were going to catch this guy without being in any kind of danger. Chopper Harris says it's mad that nobody has confirmed if KK and Richard Allen knew each other. I don't think that they need to. I think if somebody else is in that Klein home is using the account, Richard Allen may know that person, you know, and we know that Kagan's father is the same age group. I think like by a couple years, so it could be somebody more in that age range. I'm telling you, I think Kagan Klein, he has everybody fooled, and he's a huge part of all of this, the planning, the motivation, Las Vegas, all of that. Or he's just been brought along for the ride, and he's just too stupid to see all of the information that's in front of him that could be helpful. Like it's not clicking for him, maybe. Yeah, you were with your dad all day, but what was he doing? Did he talk to anybody strange? Did he make any unusual drop offs? Things like that. Like, yeah, of course you were with him, but what the hell was he doing? Putting together the pieces. Liberty wasn't taking classes at Purdue. She was attending a science camp that was open to middle school students, and that had a law enforcement class. Yes, this is at Julia. That's a good point about being ready with the phone. Yeah, I'm thinking they were expecting one thing and it was just totally something they weren't expecting. They're like, whoa, why would there ever be another person involved? Like what? And I think on the film, I think at some point, the part that they're keeping from the public is kind of that, like a realization or something, a look on their face like, oh man, like we made a huge miscalculation. Oh, that's awful, Marbles. That's horrible. That dude ain't getting away. I'll tell you that. Gail, the theory of the girls thinking they could bust this guy is excellent. Young people that age often believe they are invincible. There were rumors Liberty was threatening to go to police for something. I did hear that rumor. And at that age, we are very naive. There's just certain things that we don't put into play. There's just certain things that we don't even consider that you learn through life experience. And that's why young people are victims, because of their innocence. They haven't gone through certain things, and it makes you naive by nature. All right, we'll go to a few more and then we're going to wrap it up. Don't forget to go check out Stefa. If any of the mods in here can post that link, I think she'll be live in about 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. She's going to have some guests on, and they're going to be talking about Delphi and the medical stuff that's going on with Richard Allen, I think. But I'll be there. I'll be hanging out. So if you guys want to join me, that'd be cool. Yeah, you might be right. Baby Doll says, I totally was the strong one in my group at that age, played softball like them too. Well, remember Libby, she played with the boys, I guess, for a season. According to Mike Patty during the same interview, he says, yeah, well, it might have been Becky. One of them said that Libby went and played a season with the boys, and she's like, like it's not the same. I'm gonna go back. But the confidence that she had is there in that move. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good enough. I'll go play with the boys. It's like that desire to accomplish something great. Digital says maybe that's what the disagreement with the friend was about. The friend was crushing on Anthony Shots, and Libby wanted to expose him, calling him fake. Like, you're getting catfished, and she's like, "No, I'm not. Like, this is a real guy. Just because he's not after you." I can totally see like a little teenage. Yeah, hey, that's a good point, Digital. Darren says, quotation, this is about power to you. In the words of Doug Carter to the killer, it doesn't sound like he's talking to Richard Allen. I believe there's a surprise perp in the pile. Yeah, this Richard Allen guy could have been recruited or have a stake, in this somehow. If there's a pedal ring and he's somehow involved and somehow an arrest of Kagan Klein or the killer, or um, actually the rest of whoever's running the CSAM ring, at the risk of that, maybe it would motivate somebody to kill. He'd never been in trouble. He's got a job. He's got a home. He's got a wife and kids. I mean, that's a lot to lose. It's not like some drifter who's multiple offender. They always know in the back of their mind, like, I'm just going to end up in prison. They've already accepted it. So this is just free time. So when they finally get busted for doing something horrible, they're like, oh, well, here it is. Maybe the reason law enforcement called Libby a hero to let murderers know Libby succeeded in busting the morons in spite of the crime. Yeah, maybe that's going to be something they're going to tell us. Like, You know, things that they try to prevent with the murder of Abby and Libby or even the ski mask incident. Like, you failed. I think that's what they hope to say one day. Like, you tried to cover your tracks, but we still found you. Hey, what's up, Allison? Ivy, Toy. Did I get you, Stephanie? Grizz in the house. All right, let me take one more comment. Here's one from Stephanie. It's not right. People are accusing Libby's dad of killing them. It's wrong. He hasn't been arrested or anything, and people accusing Kelsey. It's not right. I didn't know that people were accusing her dad. I know that people are accusing Kelsey heavily. There's no evidence there. And I know that crimes like this, 90% of the time, are committed by friends, family, or a neighbor. But usually crimes like that are committed within a home. They're not going to be committed out in a public area like this. So it's just, if it was them, it would be extremely rare, a rare case. And also, there's just no evidence of that. I mean, if you could put something up here and something I could look at, something tangible, I'd happily get behind you. But to attack a family and re-victimize people without having like real solid proof and just like a really cool conspiracy theory that ties all the information together, I think is really dangerous. And I think people lose sight of the human aspect of things. Like, there's really people out there. And I was guilty of it. I mean, I'm not judging anybody or shaming anybody. I'm just saying sometimes people lose sight of it. And yeah, good comment. Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks, Darren. Yeah, I'm glad I went live. You'll probably be seeing a lot of these impromptus. I'm going to stop just throwing them out and sharing them with you guys. All right, guys, on that note, please hit the like button on the way out if you could. If you're part of the replay crew, drop a comment. I will get back to you, I promise. And we may or may not go live later on tonight with the True Crime Call-In, so keep a lookout for that. We'll see if I'll kind of see what's going on around here. Then I'll let you guys know if you're down for that. Otherwise, I'm out of here. Peace out, guys.